this is Congressman Guy Reschenthaler, and you're listening to Get Going with Guy, a conservative's guide to cutting through the propaganda of the woke left and the mainstream media. Gang, on Wednesday morning, Facebook's oversight board made the dangerous, and I will say hypocritical decision to uphold President Trump's ban from their platform. Their decision to uphold the ban denies his 35 million Facebook followers the opportunity to directly hear and interact with the former leader of the free world. These tech companies, they don't want freedom. They don't want freedom of speech, especially if you're a conservative. And if they can censor someone who received 75 American votes, then they can censor anyone. Everyone's freedom is at stake. This decision is just not dangerous, it's also blatantly hypocritical. Former Speaker of the House, Newt Gingrich, summed this up perfectly. He said, just look who is still allowed on Facebook. 5 CCP pages, that's a Chinese Communist Party. There's 5 CCP pages that have a combined 136 million viewers worldwide. And all those pages are doing is feeding CCP propaganda to the world. That's not a problem for Facebook. The Ayatollah Khamenei, he's still on Facebook. Venezuela's Maduro, he's still there. The head of Cuba, that dictatorship, he's still there. And Vladimir Putin still has a Facebook page, but not the former leader of the free world. There is clearly an anti-freedom, anti-conservative movement at Facebook. And it all goes back to values. The big tech oligarchs, they have more in common. They share more values with the Chinese Communist Party than they do with everyday Americans. And they currently have the power to pick winners and losers in our political process. These decisions to censor, these decisions to shadow ban, they have real life consequences. Just look at the Hunter Biden case. The Hunter Biden laptop scandal was scrubbed from social media from the start. I was one of the first members of Congress to retweet and repost the New York Post article that broke the Hunter Biden scandal. And I was shadow banned, and big tech kicked off the New York Post article. That made a difference. 17% of Biden voters said they would have changed their minds had they been aware of Hunter Biden's dealings with China, the laptop, you name it. That means that up to 13 million voters, let me just go through those numbers. 17% of voters would have changed their mind. 17% of voters who voted for Biden would have changed their mind. That equates to 13 million voters. Those 13 million voters changing would have thrown the election to President Trump. So big tech really does have an impact. And this is scary. And we are just coming to the realization that big tech in a lot of ways controls our political system. So what's the solution? What are we going to do? Well, there's a lot we can do. Number one, we need to start treating big tech as the public utility that they are. They clearly are closer. They clearly have more in common with common carriers than anything else. And I'll explain that. Can Verizon shut off your phone line because you're expressing conservative views? Can AT&T? No, of course not, because those are public utilities. We need to regulate big tech and social media as if they are utilities, because that's how they act. Also, we need to look at breaking them up. They're simply too big, too powerful. They are not representative of a free market. They continue to grow larger and larger, consolidate power. In case in point that there's a market distortion here, startups, their goal isn't to compete with Amazon, Facebook, Google, you name it. They just want to be bought up by these companies and cash out. That is a market distortion. So we as Republicans need to go back to the days of Teddy Roosevelt and get into trust busting, because the market is distorted and these companies have too much power and influence. So what's on the horizon? What's on the horizon for Republicans and big tech? We're simply on a collision course. Big tech has awoken the sleeping giant that is the conservative base. And it won't be long before Republicans come back in power in the Senate and the House. I'm predicting it. We will be back in power in 2022. And we as Republican leaders will not tolerate big tech censorship. We're going to send a clear message to these woke, liberal, yuppie, man-child CEOs of big tech. And here's that message. Enjoy your playtime with the liberal elite. It's going to be short-lived. Republicans are going to come in control real soon. And big tech, we're going to regulate you. We are going to strip away your liability protections. and we're going to break up your monopolies. You have been warned. It's time that you play by the same rules as other businesses in America. Big tech oligarchs, they've taken all the power they could, and they've proven that they simply cannot be trusted with it. But their reign is coming to an end. Get ready. All right, gang, that's it for today. I'll see you next time. And as always, just call me Guy.